Hello, and welcome to Hazlitt Girls Swimming and Diving Dual Meet against Ionia. Today is September 14th, 2006.
Hello, my name is Jack Cantlin, and along with me today is Sean Stead.
Today looks to be a pretty good matchup. However, Hazlitt seems to have the advantage, as Ionia has a decent team, but shouldn't be quite up to the standards of Hazlitt, who is returning quite a few swimmers from last year. And we're here in Hazlitt's fairly new pool. They built it about 2 years ago, and it's really state of the art. They put millions of dollars into this, and it's just a great place to have a swim meet.
It's fantastic, Sean.
So today we're going to be bringing you two separate things. We're going to have swimming and diving, so that should be a real treat for those of you at home.
I'm looking forward to it myself here.
However, we do ask that you be quiet at the start of the race, and please remember to turn off your cell phones. For your convenience, there's a concession stand just outside the pool. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and join us in singing our national anthem.
Okay, and we're almost set to get this meet started.
It's nothing like a little red, white, and blue to get the girls going for a swimming and diving meet.
Exactly. They like to come out, support the country, and then they go into their little cheer, which today happens to be Who's Your Daddy?
These girls really seem like they want to win today.
I'll tell you what, when I hear them with that cheer, it makes me want to go out there and start swimming. How about you, Jack?
You know, it does.
It's wonderful.
And tomorrow there is also the DeWitt football game, the heated rivalry against the Hazlitt team. It's in DeWitt. Should be an excellent game.
And our first event tonight is going to be the girls' 200-yard medley relay, where there's 4 swimmers in the relay, and each swimmer does a different stroke. There's backstroke, breaststroke, freestyle, and fly. So that's always a fun one to watch. It's a pretty quick race, and sticking to that subject, swimming is a very team-oriented sport. Every member of the team can score points for the team. So if you have a consistently solid team, then chances are you're probably going to win. In lane 2, we have Ionia's team, their C relay. In lane 4, we have Ionia's A relay. In lane 5, we have Hazlitt's A relay of Holly Umke, Ashley Vance, Sarah Calandria, and Sarah McNamara. In lane 6, we have Ionia's B relay, and in lane 7, we have Hazlitt's B relay of Cami Thornton, Gabi Seltzer, Teresa Bodwin, and Danielle Stifler, Chris Stifler's little sister, who's a freshman this year.
Hazlitt's A squad should be really good with two returning seniors.
Definitely, Sarah McNamara is also a lifeguard here at the pool, so she's around this environment a lot, and she's definitely going to be a big part of the team's success today.
It's almost as if she lives in the water.
So the swimmers are getting pumped up for the race here. It's always one of my favorite parts about swimming. Your heart's racing and you're just trying to get pumped up and visualize everything you want to do for the race ahead of you. And once they stand up on that blocks, they're just ready to let loose and not hold anything back. So there's definitely a lot of butterflies going through these girls right now, but it should turn out very nicely for Hazlitt. We're going to be quiet here for the start.
Of course.
And they are off, starting out with the backstroke, which has a very unique start. They throw their legs up on the bottom there and just kick off. But in the lead here, it looks like we have lane 7, which has its B relay, Cami Thornton leading it off.
But in a close second, it's also
actually Hazlitt A has now overtaken it, and Holly Umke.
So Hazlitt dominating this 200 relay so far.
And it appears that Sarah Calandria is the first one in the water here.
Next is the butterfly stroke.
That would be breaststroke, actually.
My mistake.
There's a different type of turn for the breaststroke. They just touch their hands at the end, then try to flip over as fast as they can, turn around and get going.
In the lead right now is lane 5 for Hazlitt. Still holding up their lead.
And Ashley Vance will be swimming next for Hazlitt, and she is in the water.
It appears Hazlitt is dominating this so far.
Butterfly, also a very unique stroke. It takes a lot of concentration, but once you get it down, it's a really fluid motion. And Ashley seems to really have it down there. Talking to her before the meet, she said she was, quote, super cool. And Hazlitt B is starting to fall behind here a little bit, but they're still in third place, which will be good for points because the top 3 teams in the relay event are the only teams to get points.
And Sarah McNamara is in the final stretch here.
Sarah appears to be swimming with a brace on her wrist, but she's not letting that hold her back. As she comes in first here.
So Hazlitt's A squad just took first. Ionia's A squad took second.
And Hazlitt B comes in third, just the way the coaches predicted it would go with the A and B squads.
So that's fantastic results for Hazlitt.
A great way to start off the match, to say the least.
Or a meet, if you will.
It's up for grabs.
So our next event is the girls 200-yard freestyle.
Swimming in lane 1 for that will be Sarah Van Maley from Hazlitt. Lane 2 will be Andrea Hunt from Ionia. Lane 3, Jamie McKenzie. Lane 4, Bethany Skeltis. Lane 5, Stephanie Miller, a senior swimmer.
Lane 6 is Danielle Moose. Lane 7 is Michelle Lefevre. And lane 8 is Christina Clayton. So, Sean, can you tell me about the 200-yard freestyle?
The 200-yard freestyle, it's actually one of the more difficult races because you want to be sprinting for almost the entire thing, and it's quite a long-distance race. It's probably about equivalent to an 800 in track, so probably not actually a sprint the whole time, but you're definitely going to be going at a fast pace. And I believe it's 8 lengths, so it's a pretty lengthy race, but at the same time you want to be going quick. So this should be a very competitive heat here. And in boys swimming, usually there's multiple heats because there were so many guys on the team last year. But for this meet, it looks like it's mostly just going to be one heat, except for the 50 freestyle, which is usually one of the more popular races and the quickest one. And here the girls are getting ready to step up for the 200-yard freestyle, where I think Stephanie Miller is probably going to be the favorite to take it home here, but it's
always up for grabs.
Exactly. Exactly. It should be close. And swimming is definitely a hustle sport. It's all about how much you want it. If you want it more than the person next to you, 9 out of 10 times you're going to get it, regardless of actual talent. So whoever shows the most heart here is probably going to come away with the win. And they're off with that big start where they want to just push off the blocks as hard as they can and stay in the air for as much time as possible. Then they hit the water and try to do what's called streamlining, where they make their bodies just as aerodynamic as possible and try to get as far down.
It appears as if Stephanie Miller has the lead so far.
And you'll notice all the girls have swimming caps on here. Obviously, the long hair is going to be a problem for aerodynamics. So all the girl swimmers on Hazlitt have their own little gold Hazlitt caps. It's kind of nice.
I'm jealous.
As well you should be. But that's beside the point.
In second, it looks as if to be either Michelle Lefevre or Jamie McKenzie, but both Hazlitt girl swimmers tied for second so far, and an Ionia player in lane 6, Danielle Moose, is in close third.
And one of the big things about this race is how to pace yourself. You don't want to go out and get burnt out too quick. You want to have enough saved for the last 100 so you can make a comeback. So whoever's in the lead right now may not necessarily be there at the end because it's a long race. And it's good to know what your limit is so you can do it.
Looks as if Stephanie Miller has a commanding lead, almost half a pool length, if you will.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to be having a problem with pacing at all right now. She's cruising out there. I believe she's a year-round swimmer, so she really knows what she's doing out there.
No problem with conditioning here. She must know her pace very well.
Exactly. Sarah Veit is another swimmer like that. She swims all year round for multiple teams, such as CAST, which is the Capillaria swim team, and she's just always in the pool. So look for her later on to really take a few events.
It looks that Hazlitt has all 3 of their swimmers in first, second, and third place right now, and that's just great for Hazlitt. So Stephanie Miller does come away with the win. And Michelle Lefevre and Jamie McKenzie are battling for second.
Stephanie comes in with an impressive time of 2 minutes and 15 seconds, which is quite good. And this is going to be great points for Hazlitt.
Now, what is the pointing? The point. How do you earn points in swimming?
Well, I believe it's the top 6 places get points, and I believe it goes. I think it goes 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, with the swimmer in first place getting 8 points, the swimmer in second place getting 6 points, and so on and so forth. So the top 3 places are definitely key, and you can really break away. But the relays have a different scoring system, and only the top 3 places get points. And I believe first place gets 10 points for that, but I really could be wrong. Sorry, I'm not more informed on that.
Well, agree to disagree. Now, the third event we're having tonight is another girls 200-yard IM. Now, what does the IM stand for?
The IM is the individual medley, which they go in the same order as the medley relay, except it's an individual doing all 4 events. Many feel that this is the hardest race, and I mean, some people love it, but a lot of people, when they hear they're swimming it, they just dread it. So it definitely takes a certain type of person to want to do this race.
That's very, very understandable.
And it really works. It works every swim muscle you have. So by the end, don't be surprised if you're seeing people crawling out of this pool.
It's like a battlefield out there.
It really is. And, you know, it's a champion sport. You gotta be tough. You gotta have a heart of steel. And I mean, these girls so far, I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing. And if they can continue at this rate, should be a runaway victory.
We can only hope. We can only hope. Now, in this third event, on the first lane, Bailey McMillan is swimming for Hazlitt. Sarah Calandra is swimming in the third lane for Hazlitt. In the fourth lane, Mary Lee Blundy for Ionia. Tiffany Oricchio for Hazlitt, who is a sibling of Lucas Oricchio, who was a dominant swimmer a few years ago for the boys team.
He was also in the IM, this very event, and it was one of his trademark races. I think he might have actually set a couple records. He was really good, so his sister should be out there doing pretty well. Also, lane 6 is Hannah Flagel for Ionia, and Ashley Vance in lane 7. So they started out with a fly here, arguably the hardest stroke here. So they usually want to get that out of the way. They swim a 50 of the fly, and then after that they go into the backstroke.
And the commanding lead is Tiffany Oricchio, who we were just talking about, and looks like she's really got her technique down.
You know, it's a huge surprise, but really it's no big news. I mean,
it must be genetic.
It's genetics. It runs in the blood. It's DNA, and she is not slacking today, folks.
Everyone else seems to be at a pretty even pace, but Tiffany just is way ahead.
It looks like we have Ashley Vance in second place here, just cruising along there, and sitting there at home. It may look like they're not like going as fast as they can, but believe me, when you're in that pool, it feels like you're going just 100 miles an hour, and trust me, they're going as hard as they can right now. So we still have
Ashley could just be holding back just for the last length, if you will, and
yeah, that could be it. So we have Oricchio still in the lead, and she doesn't appear at this point to have a weak stroke. She's been pulling away slowly but surely in everything she's done so far. And now she's coming into her final stroke, which is going to be the freestyle.
And she is almost up. Yeah, she's full pool length ahead of some of the swimmers.
There goes Ashley. You'll notice the breathing technique is very important in swimming. You breathe on one side, depending on like which side dominant you are, and you just usually in a sprint you want to take about 4 strokes before you're taking a breath, and you just come up on your side in one fluid motion and take that breath and go right back down. So, but these girls have been training hard. They actually have a new coach this year. Bob Oliver is doing a great job with them. He's taking over this year for Mr. Brace, who had been here for a long time. But
20 years, I believe.
20 years, yes. Great achievement.
And Hazlitt just took 1, 2, and 3 in that race again. So that's two races in a row that Hazlitt has just commanded.
So they're building up a strong lead here, which is going to give them plenty of leeway. They don't do so well later on, but at this point, there's nothing to lead us to believe that they're not going to do well later on. Getting back to Bob Oliver, he's been with the boys team for, I believe, over 30 years, so he definitely knows what he's doing out here. He knows how to get the best out of each and every swimmer, what to do in practices. He's a great motivator and just an all-around good guy, so I'm sure the girls are happy to have him here.
I know that some of the girls were surprised by their coach's departure after last season, but I'm sure that Bob Oliver is an acceptable replacement considering he's such a dominant coach for the boys team.
Well, it appears he's dominant for the girls team as the girls come in leading 56-19 over Ionia here, so it's a
little bit of a landslide.
You could say that, yes, landslide. And let me tell you, it is hot in here, folks. They've got the temperature really cranked up, but that's
Affable hue, if you will.
Yes, it's great for the swimmers, though. It really helps, I guess, with their breathing and getting in and out of the water comfortably. I believe the pool is usually held pretty cold at about 78 degrees, so
that sounds nice right now. I might go jump in.
Well, you know, Jack, it's about 4 feet. It's about 4 feet in front of us, so that it's probably not the greatest idea, but I mean, you know, you could get a good surface dive. Anyway, not important. Here's the girls' 50-yard freestyle, fastest event of the entire night. We have Erica Kemp, lane 1, Emily Kemp, her sister, lane 2, Hannah Scott, lane 3, Callie Milliman, lane 4, and Alexa Price, lane 5.
These are all Hazlitt swimmers.
Every single one of them.
In the first heat here. In the second heat, we've got Chelsea Rydnor for Hazlitt, Corinne Grummett for Ionia, Holly
Umke.
Pardon.
I believe that's Arthur's younger sister. Arthur swam here his senior year a couple years back, so look for her to be pretty good as well. In lane 4, we're going to have Samantha Fletcher. Lane 5, Sarah Veit. Lane 6, Heather Batter. Lane 7, Kami Thornton. And lane 8, Kaylee Weitzel. So the first heat of this is probably not going to score any points unless the best time is better than the 8th place finisher in Heat 2, because the Heat 2 finals are what's going to get you your points. So we'll see. If someone swims really slow, we could have a Heat 1 person getting some varsity points today. It appears we have a discrepancy down on the floor as lane 1 gets her goggles.
That's a crucial part in swimming.
And it's not uncommon to actually see goggles fall off with those sleek swim caps. Sometimes it just whoop, slips right off. But you know, most of the time the swimmer just keeps swimming, so it's usually not a problem, just mildly uncomfortable.
You know, I don't really like chlorine in my eyes, so I might turn around and get the goggles, but that's just me. And they're off.
And looks like we have Sarah Veit out in the lead. As I told you earlier, she's one of those year-round swimmers, so
she knows what she's doing.
And she's just turning her hips out there, which is the trademark of a great swimmer. Just a nice, easy swim, but she's got a lot of power in that stroke. And she comes in with a 26.7, which is outstanding for girls. Maybe even a state qualifying time. Who knows?
We can only hope.
I believe she already has a pool record in the 100. That could be completely wrong, but I think she does. Definitely a solid Hazlitt team across the board.
They're really displaying their skills tonight, aren't they?
Yeah, they're not necessarily outstanding in one individual race, but they've got a lot of swimmers that can get points in many different races, which is a characteristic of a great team. And
it's pretty much what any team could ask for.
I can't ask for any more. I mean, it's great. They're representing Hazlitt very well here. So we had Sarah Veit come in first there with Miss Fletcher in second and Batter in third.
And we will be right back after the short break for the beginning of the diving meet. And we're back for the girls' diving portion of this meet. In our break, we had a vicious rock, paper, scissors battle.
It's really a shame you guys missed it. I never rocked that hard in my life.
Now the divers, I think, are just finishing up their warming up.
And Katie Faber seems to be the early favorite here for Hazlitt. She is just outstanding. She was diving at MSU over the summer, and she's got some really great stuff. She's very acrobatic. She's also a gymnast, which is...
that's everything.
Well, come on. I mean, you can't beat it.
Aerial maneuvers.
Mm-hmm.
You can't ask for more.
Aerial maneuvers, great landing. It's like gymnastics in the air, except instead of landing on a big mat, you're landing in a giant tub of water.
You know, I'd rather land on the water unless it involved, me landing on my back or my stomach.
But yeah, I mean, much easier on the knees.
We had some personal time this summer where we came to the pool and fooled around on the diving boards, and it is not as easy as it looks. I can tell you that firsthand. And looks as if the referee, is that what you call the man in the white suit?
The judge, if you will.
The judge, okay. The swimming judges are giving a little pep talk to the divers, and looks like they're ready to go.
And the divers never know what they're going to be diving until they actually get to the meet. The coaches give them all that. They write it up on the board for them. So it usually comes as a shock when they get there, but the coaches usually aren't going to make them do anything out of their skill level. So we should be seeing some quality dives here. And our first diver today is going to be Crystal Izzo from Hazlitt.
She's attempting an inward dive pike. And a pike is where you wrap your hands around your knees so like your knees are in your shoulder area, and then your legs kind of hang off after that. It's a nice looking dive if accomplished in the proper manner.
With a dive difficulty of 1.5. The dive difficulty is multiplied by the score that the judges give to get their final score for that round. And I believe we're going to be diving 8 rounds today. There's a shot of Teresa Bodwin. Not a diver, but
First diver will be Crystal.
there she is.
Hey.
Which is an inward dive in the pike position with a degree of difficulty of 1.5.
Oh, there's a little cheer that they give their little.
There seems to be a lot of camaraderie on this team. You know, they've got each other's backs, but that's beside the point. We're gonna be quiet here. Really quiet. Here she goes. She's focusing. She's probably gonna jump up and down a little bit on the board here before she goes.
Oh, not for the inward.
There she goes. Okay.
Oh, slight splash at the end, but good.
Not sure if she got
Good
the full peg extension there, but it's a good looking dive, and certainly much more difficult than it looks. You have to actually jump out backwards from the diving board
While keeping the diving man in mind.
Exactly. You're blind for a split second, so you don't know what's going to happen, but you really have to whip your body down into it. And yeah, she executed that quite well, I'd say.
We're waiting for the scores. The scores from the judges are 5, 4.5, and 4.5 for a dive total of 21.
Next diver is Louise.
Our next diver is Louise Harder from Hazlitt. Her planned dive is an inward dive pike, which is also the same as the other one that we just saw. She's taking to the board.
And that's a nice dive there, Jack.
Very nice, yes.
Minimal splash, good form, nice technique.
I would say she might get all 5s in this one.
The judges' awards are 6, 5.5, 5.5, with a total
And she actually goes over the 5s,
5.5.
gets 6 and a couple 5.5s.
Our next diver is
With
I was under the impression we were on a 1 through 5 scale, but apparently we are on a 1 through 10 scale.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She got a 6, 5.5, and a 5.5 in that one.
So that's a good starting score for her. Should be a nice building block for her to work with. Here we go with the inward dive tuck.
Slight rotation on that. I don't know if that's going to get as high of scores as she would have liked.
And you'll notice the little knob on the side of the diving board there. The divers use that. They can move it up and down depending on how much spring they want on the board. And you can actually get it so it's just going up and down, probably about almost 3 feet up and down, would you say?
Oh, yeah.
Also, you can just get it really stiff for more spring.
Here is Emily Fonger from Hazlitt. She's also attempting an inward dive pike. Okay.
So again, we've seen that dive multiple times tonight, but
I think it's a standard first dive for most of the team here.
it's a good beginner dive, without a doubt. It's good to get the nerves out on that first dive, so you can do some more challenging ones later on.
And Emily received a 3.5, a 4, and a 4 for her scores in the last dive. We're also seeing the same inward dive pike here from Sherry Arnold from Ionia. Big splash there as the legs hit the water at a different angle. And she got straight 4s there. Now this is Emily Bird from Hazlitt, and she is also attempting an inward dive pike.
She's a freshman this year, and Hazlitt looks to have a pretty young diving squad, so they should be set up pretty nicely for the future here. And here
Here's
we have
a quick replay of the last dive. And there's Emily Bird. We're waiting on the scores here. She received a 5, a 6, and a 5.5 for a total score of 24.75. one of the higher scores we've seen so far.
Our next diver for Ionia is Jackie Creamer. Jackie will
Now,
do dive
if you can notice the Hazlitt
402C,
swimsuits,
inward
they're,
one somersault to the
if
tuck
you will, almost a
position,
water
degree of
camouflage
difficulty
type of pattern, and
1.6.
Sarah McNamara picked those out. She was telling us about that at our last intermission. Now that was a 1 inward tuck, and that was a front flip, but it's a reverse front flip. So you're facing the opposite way of the pool. It's a tough dive to accomplish, and she really nailed it. She received a 5.5, a 5, and a 4.5.
Next diver for Hazlitt, Katie Faber.
Now here's Katie Faber. Here's a replay of that last dive, the inward one.
She really gets a lot of spring with her legs there and just
great form. Now here's
goes right into
Katie.
rotation.
Inward dive pike. Very nice,
Oh.
very nice.
Flawless execution there.
You can see that Katie really knows her stuff.
That's no big deal for her, but I mean, she does the small stuff really well, and look for her to do the hard stuff really well too.
Her scores were 6.5, 6, and 6.5 for a 28.5 total score.
Is Crystal Izzo for Hazlitt.
The next diver is Crystal Izzo for Hazlitt. She's going to attempt a back 1 SS straight. SS stands for somersault, and this is a new dive for this meet. Should be interesting.
And this is the start of round 2 here also. That's a nice looking dive there. She stood up there for a while to get her focus, and looks like it paid off. We'll wait to see the scores on those. And that had a dive difficulty of 1.7, so it was a little more difficult than some of the previous dives.
Now, I believe that she is a sibling of Andrew Izzo, who graduated last year. He played hockey with myself, and he's just a great guy.
Our next diver for Hazlitt is Louise Carter.
Here's a replay of Crystal's dive.
A forward 1.5 somersault in the tuck position, the degree of difficulty.
Nice form there.
1.6.
That's another dive that takes a lot of guts, is going off backwards.
You really have to trust yourself so you don't hurt yourself. And there is a 1.5 somersault tuck.
She had a little bit of an over rotation there, but it's pretty good.
Her scores were 5, 4.5, and a 4 for a total score of 21.6.
Our next diver for Ionia is Jackie Duran. Jackie will do dive 102C, forward 1 somersault in the tuck position with a degree of difficulty 1.4.
This next dive here is a 1 somersault tuck. Dive difficulty is 1.4. And I would say she nailed that. How about you, Sean?
Yeah, definitely. She didn't. I'm not sure that she came in as straight as you'd like her to, but I mean, you can't ask for too much. A minimal splash.
4 and 4.5 for a
Here you
total
see
award
her
of
mediocre scores of 5.5, 4,
19.6.
and 4.5.
Our
next diver is Emily Fonger for Hazlitt. Her dive difficulty was 1.6, and she's attempting a 1.5 somersault tuck. Here's a replay of that last dive
She's really tucking her legs in close to her so she can get that rotation down.
before she enters the water. There's Emily with a 1.5, and she appeared to do pretty well with that.
And that's just a fun dive, folks. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, it is.
You want to spring off that board with as much leg power as you can get. Then as soon as your legs get off it, you want to tuck them into your body and just start spinning. And try to figure out the best time to come out of that tuck and go in straight.
This next dive is a 1.5 somersault pike. Her dive difficulty is a 1.7.
That's a good-looking dive there. The fact that she did it piked makes it a little bit harder, and that should definitely be reflected in the scores.
4.5, and a 5 for a total award of 23.8.
Or not so
Our
much.
next diver for Hazlitt is
And
Emily
here's our
Bird.
next diver, Emily
will
Bird for
dive
Hazlitt. She's going to
402C,
attempt an inward one somersault tuck.
position with a
Her
degree of
dive difficulty is
1.6.
1.6, which is higher for this evening.
And yeah, she gets the rotation down, gets in there nice and straight. It looks pretty good from up here.
The judges' awards are 5.5, 5.5.
And she gets straight 5.5s, which is a total score of 26.4.
Our next diver from
Now does
Ionia,
each
Jackie
dive,
Jackie
it adds
will
to your
dive
total score, correct? And
403C,
then
inward
the diver
Yep.
with the most points at the
1.5
end
somersault
will
to the
take
tuck
first, second,
position
third,
with a
like that,
degree of
right?
Exactly.
2.2.
And right now, Katie Favors in the lead with a 28.5. So, depending on how well she does on her next dive, she'll either remain being the leader or fall down a couple standings. But it looks like she's on deck right now, so we'll see what she's got for us.
And that was an inward 1.5 somersault tuck. First one of those we've seen tonight, and that is probably the hardest dive we've seen this evening. We're waiting on the scores, and
Judges'
she
awards
receives a
are
3.5, 4, and a 4.5.
for a total award of 26.4.
Which those scores don't look too good at first,
Our
but
next diver for Hazlitt, Katie Faber.
Now here's
Katie
the
will
replay.
dive 104B, a forward, two
I believe this is
somersault
Emily
in the
Bird,
position with a degree
and
of
her,
difficulty of 2.3.
This is the one where she received 5.5s. She did very well. And here's Katie Faber.
this should be a great dive. She's going for 2 somersaults here.
Now
that
that was the hardest dive we've seen this evening.
Hands
and
down.
I think she nailed it, as the crowd appreciated
The
it very
judges'
much.
awards are a 6, 5.5.
She receives a 6, 5.5, and a 6.5 for a 41.4, which is outstanding. So that's going to really boost her
Next diver,
and
round
into a
3,
commanding lead in first place.
Crystal
And that dive had a difficulty of 2.3, so when you multiply that difficulty to the score she got, that's just, it's an outstanding dive for her.
This next dive is a reverse dive tuck, difficulty of 1.6. Crystal is in 5th place right now, 45.65.
Ooh. Wow. That was close, folks.
It looked as if she almost might just hit her head on the board. I mean, you could hear my friend Sean here. He really let it out.
4.5 for a total award of 21.
It was a definite ooh moment, folks. I mean,
Our next diver for Hazlitt.
we saw it in the Summer Olympics a couple years back where the diver hit her head on the platform, and it's just an ugly sight. Either way, that's the replay. And here we have Louise Harder from Hazlitt attempting a reverse 1 somersault tuck. And
I think she might have second guessed herself there. As she just did a pencil dive, I think is maybe what you might want to call that. But sometimes when you're up there, it just doesn't feel right, and instead of maybe hitting your back or your stomach, you just jump in instead of trying to execute.
That was a failed dive. Our next diver for Ionia is Jackie.
here we go with Jackie Durand from Ionia, going for the back dive straight.
This dive difficulty is 1.7. Now, that's average to high for this evening. Our hardest dive would be a dive difficulty of 2.3.
We're gonna look for a big arc here. She just wants to go straight up and down with her back facing the water the entire time.
as you can see, she didn't enter the water perfectly straight, so I think her scores might be affected from that.
The judges' award.
She receives a 4, 4.5, and a 5.
For a total award of 22.95.
And our rankings after 2 rounds is Katie Faber in first, Emily Bird in second, and Jackie Creamer in third. And Katie and Emily are both from Hazlitt, and Jackie's from Ionia.
Last year they had Sarah Morey, who was one of the best divers in the entire nation, and she worked wonders for this team. But I mean,
It's a shame to see her go.
it is, but there's still some good divers here. We're holding it down for Hazlitt, and that was a very acrobatic dive there. I believe that was Emily Fonger.
She received a 5, 4.5, and a 4.5 for her reverse dive pike.
23.8. Our next diver for Ionia, Sherry Arell. Sherry will do dive 301.
Sherry coming up
reverse
here.
dive in the tuck position with
Hey,
degree of
Sherry.
difficulty 1.6.
Got the reverse dive tuck, the difficulty of 1.6.
Sherry's currently in 6th place.
But that could all change right here.
Oh. And it looks like she really executed well on that one.
The judges' awards, a 3.5, a 3.5, and a 3 for a total award of 60.0.
And I didn't get the scores in that last dive, so we'll have to move along.
Our next diver for Hazlitt, Emily Bird. Emily will do
Now
dive
here is Emily
202C.
on the 3rd
Back
round.
one
She's
somersault
currently in
in
2nd
tuck
place,
position
so
with
this is a
degree of
critical dive to
difficulty
keep her
1.5.
position. Here's a replay of that last dive. Great form, yes. Now here's Emily with her back 1.5. Oh, excuse me, just 1 somersault tuck. Oh, good. That's great form there.
And this is one of our first broadcasts on the new TV22 division. We're a new station this year, and we're expecting great things. Already, we've got a lot going on here, and personally, I'm really excited for this year and where this station's going to go. We were TV25 last year, and
Due to Comcast, I think we had to change channels from 25 to 22. So we decided to get a whole new name and pretty much a whole new outlook on everything. So should be an exciting year. And that was Jackie Creamer from Ionia.
The judges' awards, 3.5.
She received a 3.5, 4.5, and a 5 for her back dive straight.
22.1. Next diver for
Next, we've
Hazlitt,
got Katie Faber.
Katie will
She's
do
going
dive
to attempt a back
203,
1.5 somersault pike.
somersault in the pike position
This dive
with degree of
difficulty is also
difficulty
2.3, so you can see that Katie really knows what's going down. Oh, nice.
wow.
That's a hard dive right there, and I think that she's going to keep her 1st place position after that one.
Judges' award,
She received a 5, 5, and a 5.5
5.5
for a total of 35.65, and she's still in 1st place with
Beginning in the 4th
105.55.
round, we've got
And that's really impressive for her, considering she's doing dives that most of the other divers aren't even thinking about attempting at this point. So she seems to be a cut above the rest at this point.
Degree of difficulty 1.9.
And this next dive is going to be a 1 somersault, 1 twist free. Now this is going to be there's a flip and a twist involved. So this is a difficult dive. Difficulty is 1.9.
Should be fun to watch, though.
Here it goes. Oh, nice.
I was right.
Very nice.
Very enjoyable dive, and she stuck it.
Her scores were 5, 3, and a 4.5.
Ooh, I don't know about that 3 there.
There's a little discrepancy in the judging. to go talk to
The
him
next
after
dive
this
for
meet here.
Hazlitt, Louise Harder. Louise will do dive 5-1.
Either
Talk to
way,
him with a little bit of pizza,
Forward 1
which
somersault,
we're having
1
after
twist
here.
to the free position. Degree of difficulty 1.9.
You know, I think the girls are really excited about the pizza. You know, a good old pizza party is there's nothing like it.
They like to motivate the players here, and what better way than some pizza?
Here's a 1 somersault, 1 twist free, and it appears that she did well on that. Now myself, I'm not a very good diver, but my not immediate feelings, my cousins are nationally known divers, and
Our next diver for
you know, it's just
Ionia,
it's an
Jackie
exciting sport.
Duran. Jackie will do dive 202C.
Here's a
back
replay
1
of that last
somersault,
twist, 1.5.
position with a
Very
degree of
nice.
difficulty 1.5.
Pardon, not a 1.5, just a 1.
It almost looks like they're out of control on that dive, but they know what they're doing, and they've got it down definitely. The rotations and everything.
Here's a back 1 somersault tuck, and little maybe over rotation there. I don't know if Jackie got a little excited on that board, but it looked like she may have launched herself just a little bit too far. And her scores were straightforward, so I think I was right.
I'd say so. The judges are getting a little more consistent
Our next
now.
diver for Hazlitt, Emily Fonger.
And here we have
will do
Emily
dive
Fonger.
5-1-2-2-D.
Here's a replay of that last dive.
1 twist in the free position with a degree of difficulty 1.9.
You can see the splash at the end due to the over rotation. Now Emily is going to attempt a 1 somersault, 1 twist free. The dive difficulty is 1.9. It looks like all of the girls are stepping their game up a little. Oh, here she goes. I think she her release on the board. I think she jumped a little too far forward on the board, and
I think it looked like she had the rotation speed. She just didn't quite have. She didn't get the launch off the board that she needed.
It was, you know, that can happen.
So we'll see how the judges score on that. That was a 1.9, the difficulty on that. So by no means a very easy
That would
dive.
be a failed dive.
Oh, I guess.
The results on that dive were it was a failed dive. Apparently there's a rule where maybe if you step over a line or something, the dive does not count.
Number 2, please do it again.
And I'm not sure. Looks like there's a problem down there, but I'm sure they'll get it sorted out pretty quickly. There's a lot of technical equipment with this. Yep, it's a computer problem. So
No, I thought it was the men in the white suits, but apparently it's the computers that are having some trouble, some difficulty.
maybe the men in the white suits were back there. I don't know.
Things would be straight. They'd be straightened out if the men in the white suits were back there, because white signifies superiority and dominance.
They look clean. So looks like we've got a lot of people back there in the computer room right now trying to sort it out. And
It's a bit rambunctious back there. I don't know if we can get a shot of that or not, but I think they're really trying. Okay, moving along. This is Sherry from Ionia. Her attempted dive is an inward 1 somersault tuck. Dive difficulty of 1.6, mediocre at best, and here she comes with the dive. And here goes Sherry. Oh,
whew,
very nice.
Sherry, hey, not bad. She got the rotation there. Got those legs in just in time.
And that's a very important key. And her scores are 4.5, 5, and a 5. And Sherry is currently in 7th place.
Here's the replay of Sherry.
Here's a replay of Sherry.
Launches off the board there.
Ooh, great form.
And we're currently in round 4 now with Emily Bird coming up with a back dive tuck, difficulty of 1.5.
She move from second place to third place, so I'm sure she's going to be really determined on this one to nail it.
Wow.
And Emily really got off the board there, and it appears she really handled the pressure well.
The judges' awards
And
are
there's Emily
5.5
after the dive,
for
getting ready to get
4.5 for a
back
total
and
award
get
of
ready for her
21.0.
next dive.
Our next diver for Ionia, Jackie Creamer. Jackie will do
Now
dive
here's
302C,
Jackie,
a
Big
reverse
J.
one somersault in the tuck position with a degree of difficulty 1.6.
She's going to attempt a reverse one somersault tuck, dive difficulty of 1.6. Here she goes. Little kickflip there before she, ooh. She entered the water and it looked like an uncomfortable position. And it's possible that might have hurt her a little bit. But her scores are 3.5, 4, and a 5.
For a total award of 20.0.
You can see there's still some discrepancy in the judging, but that's okay.
Next diver
because
for Hazlitt.
it's a hard thing to do, don't you think, Sean?
Definitely. I mean, everyone has their own different things they're looking for. Some like the bigger airs, some look for the rotation speed. So it's definitely it's a personal opinion. But
Yeah, you know, it all looks good to me, but what do I know, right? Anyways, here's Katie Faber on a reverse 1.5.
she's got a lot of spring on that board.
Oh, gorgeous.
Wow.
Gorgeous. Little contribution to Steve Irwin, who recently passed.
We wish him and his family all the best.
Judges' awards are 5.5, 6.
No problem.
And we're going to get a slow motion.
Award of 40.8.
Sorry, we had some technical difficulties there. We're going to get a slow motion. We're going to get a slow motion replay here. That last dive.
It was a fantastic dive. Here's Katie right now. Oh, that was fantastic.
Maybe not slow motion, but
She
still awesome nonetheless.
she really is in a commanding lead right now with 146 points, and second place is at 92. So Katie appears to be dominating.
As usual. Nothing new for her. And there's a nice dive from Freestyle Izzo.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's Crystal or if it's just Crystal, but either way, that was a fantastic dive.
I really hope it's Crystal. Sorry, Crystal, if it is Crystal. You're a good diver.
Our apologies.
Louise will do dive 402C, an inward one somersault in the tuck position.
Comes dive 402C, an inward one somersault tuck from Louise Harder.
And looks like she really needs to do well on this dive to maybe get up in the standings.
And it's a pretty close matchup down there at the bottom. It looks like a dogfight there. So, I mean, a good dive here can really jack her up in the standings.
I think Louise just nailed that dive. You know, she really came through in the clutch, and she got straight 5.5. So that's going to be great for her
Another
score.
5.5 for a total award of 26.4.
It's a good score.
Next
And
diver for Ionia,
yeah,
Jackie Durant.
places 2 through 4 right now are separated by less than 3 points. So it's definitely up for grabs right now. And diving is big points in those top 3 spots. With Katie Faber obviously taking first here today.
And here's Jackie flipping into the water with that one reverse somersault tuck. Dive difficulty of 1.6. She appears to have done mediocre. 4.5, 4.5, and 5 is what she received from the judges, or the men in the white suits, if you like to.
Next diver for Hazlitt, Emily Fonker.
We're going to have a slow motion replay coming up here of that last dive,
Somersault in the straight position with a degree of difficulty.
as it was a key dive in the meet today.
And there's an Ionia diver, it looks like, warming up for their next.
Perhaps discussing.
Strategizing, maybe. Now here's Emily Fonger from Hazlitt. She's going to attempt back ones, somersault dive. And a little bit of a splash there, but, you know, maybe that's all right. Maybe that's not what the judges are looking for.
Judges' awards are 4.5,
here's a slow motion replay of 2 dives before that last one.
Next diver for Ionia,
Coming up any second now. Here it is. And she's not there. Seems we have some technical difficulties in the studio.
But I can assure you, it was a good-looking dive,
It was fantastic.
contrary to what the replay shows.
Our technical staff apologizes.
As
Now,
do we.
Here is Sherry, really tearing it up out there. She goes for a 1 somersault with a half twist free. That's possible. That's one of her better dives.
Judges' awards are
She receives a 3.5, 4.
4.5 for a total award of 20.4. Our next diver for Hazlitt, Emily
And a
Bird.
4.5.
Emily will dive 103C, a forward 1.5 somersault.
We've got some swimmers warming up here in the closest 3 lanes.
They're out of the camera view, but they're there. Trust us.
Hazlitt actually has a 12-lane pool, which is great for warming up and competing at the same time.
It appears that there's a divider that maybe judges or coaches can stand on if need be.
Yep.
And
The assistant coaches like to walk down that and give the swimmers some guidance as they're going.
now there was a 1.5 somersault tuck from Emily Bird for Hazlitt. It appears that she nailed it. She's really got quite the fan base here. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but
I heard some whooping.
yeah.
And look at that.
She receives a 6, 5, and 4.5.
They reward her nicely for that.
Next diver for Ionia,
And Crystal Izo appeared to move up into 3rd place, 91. Emily Bird, who's now in 4th place. Possible that she might move up in the standings after that nice dive there.
And this is a big dive here for Jackie, who's in 2nd place, but just clinging to it right now.
Oh, it's possible that she might get marked down for the entry there. Here's a
She
close-up
didn't have
of
full
her.
extension there, but it was a good rotation.
Judges' awards are 3, 3.5,
Now,
And
yep,
that's gonna
that
hurt.
looks like the men in the white didn't like that one, so she received a 3, 3.5, and a
Next
4.
diver for Hazlitt,
And here's Katie Faber, the 1st place favorite, inward 1.5 somersault pike. And I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and say she's gonna nail this one and really clench her lead.
Hey, why not? She's been doing it all day, right?
All day, baby. Here goes Katie. Excellent.
Oh,
As you can see, her legs were almost vertical as she went in the water. She's going to get really great scores for that one.
you know, Jack, she just has so much confidence out there. She can envision it while she's on the board, and then she just does it.
Oh, and she received 6.5, 6.5, and a 5.5. So
With the difficulty of 2.4, that's going to be a total of 44.4.
So that's Katie's best dive for this evening, and she is just. Here comes a replay of that last dive from Katie. As you can see here, 1.5 inward. That's just a difficult dive to accomplish, and she nailed it, and that's why she's in 1st place. Now here's Miss Izo. We're not quite sure on the pronunciation.
Or the pronunciation of pronunciation. But anyway, here she
Either
goes
way.
with the inward tuck.
And she has moved up into 2nd place as Emily has moved up in 3rd. So it looks like Hazlitt is 1, 2, 3 as they were throughout all the first events.
Here comes another replay.
The big replay.
Get ready, it's coming. Oh,
There it was.
she
And
rotates the
knob or wheel.
wheel, if you will, yes.
Now it's not the wheel of fortune. It's maybe the wheel of the springiness of the board.
Okay.
Now here's Louise from Hazlitt, going for an inward 1.5. Ooh, she's close on that one. I'm not sure on the scores. They're up in the air. She gets straight 4s, but it's a hard dive, so she still gets a pretty good score of 26.4.
Next diver for Ionia, Jackie Duran.
Here comes Jackie Duran from Ionia. She's going to try to accomplish a 1 somersault, 0.5, twist, free. Degree of difficulty is a 1.7.
And Jackie is currently in 7th place out of 8, so she's looking for a huge dive here. She wants to jump up in the standings.
You know, maybe she wanted to do like 3 flips or something. Maybe she wanted to go ahead and do that. Maybe really get some scores.
You know, might not be possible for her at this stage, but I think she's a young diver, so maybe in the future.
Maybe it's just the inexperience that's contributing to her 7th place. Here comes a replay of that last dive.
Coming at you.
Whammy. Oh, there it went. Now, our next diver is going to be Emily Fonger from Hazlitt. She is going to attempt a 2 somersault tuck. And 2 flips is a difficult thing to accomplish. So let's see if Emily can pull through here. She could really use some points.
She's getting ready for this dive, mentally prepared.
Now, is Emily a freshman this year?
I'm not sure, but I know she's definitely not a senior. I can tell you that much. So
or a junior.
She'll be back. She'll be back next year.
And
without a
she
doubt.
nailed it. Actually, I think she was going for 2. Looked like she did a 1.5 maybe. So I don't know if she's going to get any points there. Okay, here comes a replay of the failed dive. And I don't see a replay.
Here. Oh.
Okie dokie. So we've got Big Sherry coming up for a looks like a straight dive. And there went Sherry. I missed it.
It was very graceful. I can tell you that.
Now, tell me about the condition of these athletes and how much they train year-round.
Well,
I know that these coaches have them here for probably, what, 8 hours every day after school swimming. Is that
Next
correct?
diver for Hazlitt, Emily Bird. Emily
Well,
will dive 5-1-2-2-D, forward 1 somersault.
it might feel like 8 hours, but it's probably more in the area of about 3.
Oh.
Yes, contrary to popular belief. But I know Oliver really works his kids hard. I can't say for the other teams, but Bob usually gets his kids in the pool early, right after school.
You know, maybe Ionia needs to get in some more practice hours, and appears they're not pulling through today. Now here's Emily Bird with a 1 somersault, 1 twist free. That's possible. That might hurt her score. Oh no, not at all. The scores 5.5, 5.5, and a 5. And I think that's going to keep her right where she is in 3rd place. Here's a replay of that last one. And an excellent dive there from Emily. Now here's Jackie going for a 2 somersault tuck. Dive difficulty of 2.2, and here she goes. And she nailed it.
That's a really nice dive from Jackie there.
You know, 2 flips is a hard thing to do.
And she's currently in 4th place, so watch out, Hazlitt, because she is coming up fast.
Oh, she gets straight 5s on that one, so that's going to really help her out. She now has she got a 33 on that dive, so that might boost her into 3rd place. We're not sure yet.
A back 1.5 somersault with a half twist in the 3 position.
And here's Katie Favor, who looks to add to her already substantial lead, going for the back 1.5.
Somersault, half twist, free. And she just...
She's a machine, really.
It's unbelievable.
She's
cranking out dominant dives like it's her job.
The judges' award.
Who knows, maybe it will be one day.
A 6.5 and another 6.5 for a total award of 40.95.
40.95 on that dive as she gets straight 6.5s. And we're going to get a replay of that dive so you can witness its glory again.
It's glorious. Look at that. Very nice.
Hello, number 1.
Might as well just give her the gold right now.
I'm sure last year her and Sarah Morey had an outstanding tandem going there. They were probably virtually unbeatable.
Almost as
And there is our
cameraman, Brad Shear, dancing.
He's highly educated, as you can see from his shirt. Although,
In 8th place, Emily Faulkner.
Having a loss of words.
who knows?
Sorry, Emily was.
He's not highly educated, but really he is.
Now, looks as if the diving is
6th
over.
place, Sherry Arell from Ionia.
Winning is Katie Faber with a commanding 231 points. Emily Bird second. Jackie Creamer for third.
That double.
Crystal Izo in fourth. Louis Harder for fifth. Sherry Arnell in sixth place. Jackie Durand in seventh, and Emily Fonger in eighth. And there we are. Hello all.
I'm not wearing a shirt for the record. It's hot in here.
And considering taking my shirt off because it is so hot in here.
Oh,
Now look
one
at this!
second,
Look
Jack.
at this team camaraderie here.
This is a
They're
special
singing.
moment. Oh my gosh, you just don't see this every day.
What an excellent! Just what an excellent!
Singing "Happy Birthday."
In front of everybody, they don't have any shame, do they?
And the hugs. See, this is what swimming's all about.
Now,
They've got the
whose
team
birthday
bond.
is it? Does anybody know?
She appears to be. She might be crying there. I'm not sure.
Probably overwhelmed with glee.
And there's our flags, blue and
The
yellow.
blue and yellow flags are draped all over the pools.
They're going again. Looks
And
like they
it's-
say Kelsey. It's Kelsey's birthday, folks. Happy birthday, Kelsey.
Congratulations, Kelsey. Must be a big one for you. We are going to be right back after the short break for the rest of the meet.
This is the 100-yard butterfly. Another one of the hardest races, along with the 500 and the 200 IM.
Now, it appears to me that the majority of these swimmers are, well, they're all wearing yellow caps, maybe, except for
Lane
well, looks
4,
like one.
Hannah Flagel is the lone Ionia swimmer here. Other than that, we have Teresa Vigor in lane 1, Gabby Seltzer in lane 3, Bailey McMillan in lane 5, and Cami Thornton in lane 7.
Cami.
This is just a brutal race. Got to have good stamina, but more importantly, good technique.
The coach on the sideline here, well, not the sideline, the edge of the pool, if you will, is really shouting for her player, the one and only Ionia player in this meet, this relay, this race, the 100 butterfly, and
this
she
is
appears
going
to be holding her own.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting home stretch here.
Lanes looks like
3, 4, and 5.
3, 4, and 5 are dead even at this point. Ionia is in first.
Oh, wow.
And
Ionia has got to be happy with this. If she can hold on, the lone Ionia swimmer, it looks like she's going to get the first.
Looks like she held on to that one.
Wow.
Well, congratulations to Hannah Flagel. In second place, it appeared to be Gabby Seltzer, and third, Bailey McMillan. So congratulations to all who accomplished their 100 butterfly.
There's our underwater camera. A nice little feature we have here at TV 22.
That's the benefits from being one of the greatest stations known to mankind.
And there she is getting out of the pool, obviously very tired after that
You know, you really
vigorous
really
race.
feel like a champion after you go through something like that. You come out on top. Wouldn't you say so?
Well, yeah, but then there's the other side. If you don't come out on top and you did all that work, you feel more like a champion, I'd say.
Champion is now added to the vocabulary. You can look it up on any website or...
Whoa! Hold the phone, Jack. Hazlitt is just running away with this victory right now. They're ahead 106-52. Ionia has now totaled the amount of points that Hazlitt had after, I believe, their third event. So,
You know, I am shocked. You know, I thought this might be a little bit closer than that, but it appears that Hazlitt is now just dominating this match.
I think the diving really helped them out as they got 2 of the top 3 slots there.
As they have in every single race so far.
And we're coming up on one of the more exciting races, the girls 100-yard freestyle. Lane 1, we have Chelsea Ridnour. Lane 2, Kelsey Edlin. Lane 3, Ashley Vance. Lane 4, Bethany Skeltis. Lane 5, Tiffany Oricchio. Lane 6, Heather Batter. Lane 7, Stephanie Miller. And lane 8, Kaylee Weitzel. So there's some fantastic Hazlitt swimmers in this. Look for them to
see if Tiffany Oricchio can hold her first place victory.
They might even sweep the top 3 here, Jack.
It's possible.
Great starts there from
entrance.
every Hazlitt swimmer.
They're really chugging along here. It appears that that Tiffany is in first again, as you know, she might just have the legacy that her brother had here.
Well, yeah, she's only a freshman and she's already dominating, which Oliver has to be very happy to see this. He's going to be set up very nicely for the future. And
you know, just things like that, just, you know, can create a legendary mark on a high school when you
the Oricchio family is definitely going to be remembered with a solid legacy.
And in second place, we have Stephanie Miller, who also took first in one of her events earlier. She is also, you know, I would say 3 lengths ahead of the third place, who looks like Ashley Vance.
Little Miss Oricchio just swam that in 56 seconds, folks. And breaking a minute in girls swimming is a pretty big deal, and she just did it by about 4 seconds. So congratulations to you. And in second place there, we have Stephanie Miller with Ashley Vance coming in third place. So a clean sweep of the top 3 for Hazlitt swimmers.
And congratulations to Hazlitt again. You know, he was really dominating. Finishing up the race, Kelsey Edlin. And we're going to move along to the next race here. Next we have the girls 500-yard freestyle. In lane 1, we have Teresa Vigor from Hazlitt. Lane 2, Danielle Moose from Ionia.
Look at that.
In lane 3, Sarah Van Maley. Lane 4, Andrea Hunt. Lane 5, Michelle Lefebvre. Lane 6, Haley
Hildebrandt.
In lane 7, Teresa Bodwin. Now we have 2 seniors in this race. Sarah Van Maley and Teresa Bodwin, both returning swimmers, I believe. And can you tell me about the 500-yard freestyle, Sean?
The 500, a lot of people see it as the hardest race, but the key is you have to find your stroke and you have to find your point of balance. Because, I mean, you can be working harder than the person next to you, but if you don't have the right technique, you're just going to be using all that energy, and it's not going to do you any good. So
you don't want wasted energy, especially in a 500-yard freestyle
exactly.
event.
That's 1,500 feet, Jack.
Now
it's a long way.
How many lengths of the pool is that?
That's 20 lengths, and there's counters on the other side to help the swimmers keep track.
You'll see the counters when the swimmers approach the other end of the pool. Their teammates are holding little boards right now with 1 on them, and I'm sure that really helps.
Of course.
Make sure you can keep your pace.
It's tough to keep everything straight when you're in that pool and you've got 1,000 things going through your head. You're trying to keep your mechanics good and try to keep all the lengths down, so that definitely helps them out. Another big part of this race is the flip turns, because, I mean, with 20 flip turns in there, if you're getting a good jump off the wall, it's definitely going to give you a great boost so you can streamline down a little bit and conserve a little more energy. And Teresa Bodwin is in the lane closest to us.
You know, she appears to be ecstatic for this race. You know, it's possible she's been training, you know, countless hours over the summer. And I know that she's a lifeguard at the MAC, so She also has the same job as Sarah McNamara, and that must really help. You know, just living almost pretty much living at the pool, working, swimming, practicing.
And to become a lifeguard, you have to go through quite a bit to get your lifeguarding license. So, I mean, anyone that's a lifeguard is automatically going to be a good swimmer. But if you throw in the Hazlitt swim team with that, you're just going to get a fantastic swimmer for the most part. And so far, it's a pretty even race, aside from Michelle Lefevre, I believe that is.
Looks like Michelle and Teresa are in first, second, and Teresa is in a close second with Danielle Moose from Ionia. So you can't really tell who's going to win this race in the first, 10 lengths probably, right?
Well, usually the people, sometimes I like to get off to a fast start. And then if they can just keep that pace for the whole time, usually it's hard for kids to make a big push at the end because they're so tired from the previous 15 or so laps.
Well, that's where that crucial conditioning comes in.
Exactly. But if you can get off to a good start in the beginning, you can kind of let off a little bit at the end, but that last 50 you want to be absolutely going all out.
It looks like Michelle's still in first place here. Second looks to be Danielle Moose. And in third, looks like Teresa Vigor and Teresa Bodman are tied. But it's really it's anyone's race so far.
And you might notice here that the people that are going to be leading are going to be the people that are actually doing the least amount of strokes, because you want to just have a few really powerful strokes rather than a lot of not so powerful strokes, which is the trap that many young swimmers come into as they're in this race for the first time.
Now the counters who are letting the swimmers know what length they are on, they actually stick the board under the water, and the swimmers, as they approach the wall, can see what length they're on just to judge their speed and their where they're at in the race.
Exactly, and some swimmers actually have people that they want to make sure are their counters, because they want to be at a certain pace for the entire race, and the counter can watch the clock for them, and if they're not going up to the pace that they want, they'll shake the card harder or softer depending on how fast they need to go.
Well, that's really good strategy for letting the swimmer know. It's almost like cheating, but it's not.
No, we would never cheat at Hazlitt.
Oh, creatine. So we're now in the ninth length for the majority of the swimmers. There is looks to be as if
there's a nice flip turn there. That underwater camera is really good for checking out those flip turns, which are a very key component to this race and every other race for that matter, really. You wanna just bring your arms over and tuck your head down. With your legs should just flip over naturally, and then you'll be upside down, kicking off the wall. So it's a very important part of swimming, and if you can get it down, chances are you're gonna do a lot better in races.
Now, Sean, I have lost who is in first place. Can you enlighten me on what's going on right now?
Well, it looks like we have Michelle Lefevre here because she's just going at a much faster pace than the girl in the lane next to her.
It looks like they're battling, but really Michelle is 2 lengths ahead of her. Is that correct?
Michelle's just lapping her right now.
Okay, so Michelle looks to be in a commanding lead, almost a length ahead of 2 Ionia swimmers. And Teresa is also on the 13th length of their race right now. You said this is a 20-length race?
This is a 20-length race, and there's no the scorecards are only the odd numbers, because obviously when they're coming back to the starting blocks, it's on the even length. And there's no 19 on the scorecards. It's just, actually there is a 19 on the scorecards, but they don't show it when they're on the 19th. They show 2 giant red flaps.
And to let them know to go.
Exactly. When the swimmer sees red, They're like a bull, you know. They just go for it.
It's almost if the shark is in the water. Red signifies danger, and danger means swim fast. Is
They
that
can
correct?
smell the blood from miles away, Jack.
Exactly.
They're ready. So they see that, and they just kick hard in that final lap, give it all they've got.
And they're now on the 15th length. Miss Michelle is still in the lead here, and it looks like she's really got her stroke and her balance down, as you were talking about.
Exactly. She looks like she was made for this race. She knows exactly what she's doing. She keeps kicking the whole time. Great balance.
It appears she's in fantastic condition for this kind of race to be dominating in this event.
I think domination is definitely the word here, as it actually looks like Lane's. Never mind. Lefevre is coming in here for her last 50, which is signified by the large brass bell.
You know, I thought Santa Claus was here, like at the mall, but it appears the man in the white suit has everything, including a bell.
Yes, I would testify to that.
Would you? Now,
So
I think that the red flaps have been replaced by orange flaps, as Michelle is now in her last length here. And she is obviously in a commanding lead. She really tore that race up. She's going to come in with the first place, and she's going to be real happy about that.
time of 6 minutes and 23 seconds.
And that's a lot of swimming.
It's a long time to be in the pool.
There she is right there, the champion. Heart of a champion, shaking it out, shaking it out.
And she's not even that pumped right now. She can do better than that.
I think she just accepted.
Amazing.
She knew she was going to take it home, and she did. Hazlitt comes in with second place, and Ionia with third. In second place is Teresa Vigor, who maybe got off to a slow start, but I think maybe that was her strategy. Slow start, end strong. And it really turned out for her as she took home second. In third was Danielle Moose. In fourth, Sarah Van Maley. Fifth, Teresa Bodwin. In sixth and seventh place are still battling it out here.
We're going to have the two Ionia swimmers here going for last place.
And this is the last length for one of the two remaining Ionia swimmers. Finishing it up here is looks to be Andrea Hunt, finishing in sixth place, excuse me, and
Hildebrandt here is going to come in on her last 50.
Haley Hildebrandt, H squared, if you will, is going to bring it home for seventh place. There's nothing wrong with seventh. You know, she goes out there, she does her best. That's all you can ask for.
And she's probably a young swimmer, so she'll get that technique as the years go by. She just didn't really have the flip turns here, which makes the race much more difficult.
And like you said, flip turns are crucial, as is the balance and the pace. Michelle Lefevre took the hard start and the slower finish approach, and
yeah.
I think Teresa Vigor took the slow start and the hard finish. So it really turned out for both of them, as they both came in first and second. And there's some Hazlitt swimmers.
All smiles today.
That's all you can ask for with Hazlitt's commanding lead over Ionia.
Event number 8 in 7th place for Ionia.
And with the 500-yard freestyle being over, we're going to go into event 9 here, the girls' 200-yard freestyle relay, where there's 4 swimmers in each squad, and each one swims a 50-yard freestyle.
And there are the starting blocks on this fantastic facility here at Hazlitt. Some Ionia comrades, if you will. They're talking some strategy, and looks like they're trying to get pumped up for one of their last races tonight.
And this is a really fun race to watch as they switch from player to player, because one swimmer can make the entire race for them. But if you've got a pretty solid team throughout, which I'm assuming most of these Hazlitt teams do, chances are they're going to do pretty well here.
And keep an eye out on lane 5, as that is Hazlitt's A squad, and then lane 4 is Ionia's A squad. Now I'm noticing here that the D and the B, C squads are towards the outside of the pool, and the A squads are towards the middle. Now is that designed? Is that on purpose?
Yep, they usually put the weaker swimmers to the outside and the stronger swimmers on the inside. I'm not sure exactly the reasoning behind that, but probably they don't want the people on the outskirts to be like affecting the better swimmers.
Maybe it's the fact of the dealing with the waves, and the waves move from the swimmers out and the people on the outside get hit with the most waves, so that slows them down. That's a possibility as well.
I'm sure that is a big factor.
Now they're mounting here, getting ready for the 200-yard relay.
And Hazlitt A's Sarah Veit is leading it off here. She gets off to the quick lead.
She's a full length ahead of the Ionia A squad. Great flip turn there.
Behind her is going to be Tiffany Oricchio, who you've already seen do just outstanding today. So we'll see if she can continue that.
Tiffany gets ready to jump in, and Sarah really took her lead to another level here. And Tiffany is a half length ahead of everyone before anyone even jumps in the pool.
Now the relay starts a little bit different from a standard start, because you have to wait for the swimmer to come in, and you're not allowed to go until they've touched the pad. So, I mean, you're supposed to start your jump early, but you want to be at least the tip of your toe still has to be touching by the time they touch.
And Tiffany Riccio just came in as Teresa Bodwin plunged into the depths of the pool. Teresa seems to really want this win here today, as she almost a full length ahead of Ionia's A squad.
And they usually like to spread out the good swimmers in these relays so you can get a couple teams in the top 3 at least. But it looks like Hazlitt A is pretty stacked here.
And second place is Ionia's A's team, and third place looks to be Hazlitt's B team, which is obviously good planning by the coaches, as they know their team well to coordinate with the best swimmers on A and B, and looks like they're going to come here with a first and third place finish in this 200-yard freestyle relay.
Definitely, the coaches are always watching at practice. They usually have their clocks out so they can check out the times. And then they just like to see which swimmers are going to work best together. And it looks like Mr. Oliver has definitely gotten the master plan going here.
Yes, Bob Oliver knows his swimming. Ionia comes in with a second place finish, as Hazlitt finishes third. You can't really ask for more than that. If Hazlitt keeps up this two players in the top 3 every time, they're for sure to get a dominated win here.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's nothing new really. They've been consistently getting these top 3 slots, so definitely look for them to be leading by a lot next time they show the score. And after this event, we're going to have the girls 100-yard backstroke.
No, when I competed in swimming when I was a young lad, this is the event that I challenged myself to.
You know, this is a cool event to watch. There's a lot of different things in it. The start is obviously different. You're starting from inside the water and you're kicking off. The flip turns are pretty tricky in this. You have to. This is actually why they set up the flags. The flags are for the backstrokers. Obviously, you're looking up and you're doing the backstroke. And when you look up and see those flags, it's standard to take about 4 strokes, and then you flip over to your front, go into your flip turn, do that, and come out on your back again.
Well, that's another great strategy here. Now, when I competed on the swim team, there's our local camera crew, Logan McMahon and Derek. He's helps out in the studio, just a great guy. Logan's pretty good too. And Now, what I was saying is that I competed in a backstroke event once upon a time, and I flipped over at the very end too early, and I got disqualified. So now they need to stay on their backs the whole race. Is that correct?
Exactly. You want to come in touching the pad on your back, and that's Derek right there. He has been working hard today, folks. You see he's got splash marks all over him.
You know, it's possible it's sweat. He could be lifting weights or something while this event's been going on.
There's some heavy camera equipment.
We have a very nice weight room right down the hallway. You know, it's possible he snuck in for a few minutes in intermission, pumped some
Snuck in
iron.
and did some bench presses.
Now here comes the backstroke. Looks to be very even so far, almost a synchronized swimming, if you will.
It's a very smooth stroke. It's nice to watch, and you just wanna be pushing through that water as fast as you can. Here we come with the first flip turn, and that's a really nice flip turn there by lane 5, who is Sarah Veit. Big surprise. She's got her technique down. She swims all the time. And I was I was wrong. That's Holly Umke.
Sarah Veit seems to have dissipated out of the pool, and she's now on the sidelines.
So Holly Umke's brother Arthur was also in this very event. So maybe it looks like Oliver's trying to keep the siblings in the same events.
Got some similar blood and similar genes and similar skills. You know, he's taken that to the max, and it appears to be really benefiting for him. Holly is in a commanding lead now, probably I would say 3 lengths ahead of Rachel Casper, not Gasper, not the ghost,
No.
Casper, who is for Ionia.
Casper is the friendly ghost, Jack.
And I was wrong about Rachel Casper. Jamie McKenzie just finished in 2nd place, I believe. 3rd place goes to Bridget Saferman. And 4th went to Sarah McNamara.
Once
And,
again, Hazlitt just cleaning up these events.
1, 2, 3. That's all you could ask for.
Shake and bake, you know.
Shake and bake, baby.
So we're going to go to the 100-yard breaststroke right now.
This is the 11th event of the night. And in lane 1, Alexa Price. Lane 2, Kelsey Edlin. In lane 3, we have Gabi Seltzer. It's possible that's not pronounced Gabi. It could be
Gabby.
Gabi.
I believe.
Or now we have lane 4 and Samantha Fletcher. Lane 5 is Sarah Veit. A favorite in this event, wouldn't you say, Sean?
Sarah Veit, yes. She, like I said earlier, she swims year-round. She looks
in lane
really
6,
loose
we
right
have
now.
Clara Fitzpatrick. In lane 7, we have Sarah Colandria. In lane 8, Tiana Wireman. Now, this seems to be a even Hazlitt-Ionia matchup, as there's equal amount of swimmers in each one. And this appears to be our 2nd to last event for this evening. So Hazlitt pretty much has this one wrapped up here. Wouldn't you say, Sean?
Definitely. Now the swimmers are going to be swimming mostly for their personal records or maybe even pool records.
Personal pride.
Personal pride, yes. The school record in this event is 1 minute 11 seconds. And that was done in 1991 by Amanda Applegate. So we'll see if any of the swimmers can come close to breaking that today.
1 minute and 11 seconds is going to be hard to beat, though, don't you think?
Certainly.
If there's anyone who's going to do it, it's possible it'd be Sarah Veit.
Probably Sarah Veit, yeah.
But you never know. You know, there could just be someone who just gets inspired and really goes out there and just chugs through that water.
And once again, I'm just looking over this pool at the great facilities here. We really have a nice setup. The lane lines are always in order. We've got the pads there, the whole computer system, which only had a minor problem today, but they've got the projector up on the opposite side of the pool, so all the kids can see their times and not have to go running to their coaches and ask for the scores.
You know, I hate when that happens. You have to run to a coach. It's
I'm sure the coaches hate it too.
It's a pitiful display of sportsmanship.
But one of the best parts about coaching, I'm sure, is to watch the swimmers as they grow from the beginning of the season to the end, because I'm sure there's a lot of improvement going on here.
And it appears there's some type of a delay. It's possible that they just have a little break here, and swimmers are exchanging words, maybe a little smack
Maybe
talk,
a little trash talking in
some
there.
trash talking. But you know, I don't think Hazlitt's going to get involved in that because we're a classy school, Class A, all the way.
We're Class B, but we're Class A.
Classy. So, you know, maybe they're just talking strategies, and maybe they're just thanking Ionia for coming out and allowing Hazlitt to dominate against them. You know, I know that's what I would be doing right now.
And also, some of the swimmers' teammates are gathering on the other side of the pool, which is off camera right now. But I assure you, there are a lot of people down there ready to cheer on their comrades and fellow teammates.
You know, we were having some technical difficulties. Not the vision, of course, because we were a dominant station, but the studio involving the projection screen and the times, they're having some problems. So this is why we're having such a delay between these last few races here.
Swimmers taking this time to stretch, as you saw in that last shot, get pumped for this race, maybe clear out their goggles a little bit. You know, everyone has their own pre-race ritual that they have.
Exactly. Now, I would think that this delay might throw them off, but I'm sure that the Hazlitt swimmers don't have any pressure right now, as they're pretty much going to win no matter what.
It's got to be a good feeling for them right now. I mean, they come in here and work hard every day, and it's terrible if you're not winning, but if you're getting the W at the end of the day, it's all worth it.
You know, there's really nothing better. There are 3 swimmers waiting for their friend to finish, maybe cheer them on in their last race. We have a little announcement here. They're letting us know that we're getting ready to get started with this race. The goggles are going on. Caps are being placed onto their head, and you know, they're getting the shakes out.
And here's some of the fans for you there. All the Ionia parents are wearing Ionia swimming and diving shirts.
What in God's name?
Which, I mean, it's nice and all, but not sure how much it helped their children today. But nonetheless, it's great to see them come out and support their children all the way down here in Hazlitt. And we're getting ready here for the 100-yard breaststroke.
Like we said before, watch for lane 5, and I'm going to assume that lane 4 is also dominant swimmer for Ionia as they place their better swimmers in the center. The man in the white suit's telling the swimmers to get on the blocks.
They always listen to the man in the white suit. And
Sarah really gets off there.
Yep. They've got what's called the pull-out off the start, where you want to stay underwater for as long as possible, hold that streamline, and then you take a stroke underwater, and you come back up. So sometimes you'll see people underwater for as long as halfway through the entire lane.
Well, that's impressive there. Now, this is an unusual stroke. It looks like maybe bobbing for apples or some sort. But
they have kind of the frog legs going out too. You see, if you dropped a frog in a puddle, he'd be doing something similar to this.
Of course, yes. Frogs are known for the breaststroke. Now, Sarah's in first place, as we mentioned, but Ionia is close behind here, so this is still going to be a tight race.
Sarah Colandria sticking right with the pack too, so she's looking to get some varsity points tonight.
You know, she might even be in second place right now. It's a possibility that I think she just overtook the Ionia player. So Hazlitt once again 1-2, 1-2, baby.
You really want to come off that wall with just just acting like the wall's a hot stove and you want to get your hands off as fast as possible.
Just push off like you're lifting a car or something, right?
Very similar to that motion, yes. And
Now
we're going to get
Sarah-
that 1-2 finish again.
Sarah takes first. Tiana Sarah and Sarah take 1-2. And looks like Samantha Fletcher from Ionia takes third, as that's a great accomplishment. I mean, you can't really ask for much more than that, swimming against these dominant girls again, and for the Hazlitt team. And there's our champion real quick there. Trying to finish up the race here with Alexa Price and Kelsey Edlin.
It's a tough race.
As you can see from her facial expressions, she seems very tired.
But now, we've got the final event, which
Dun, 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 dun.
usually is going to have a little more drama than this. We're sorry we couldn't bring you a little more. But, you know, it's been such a lopsided meet today. It's just going to be for
It's all
for
smiles.
kicks. It's all smiles. It's all kicks.
Kicks and giggles.
Kicks and giggles, if you will. Now, we're going to have lane 2 is going to be Ionia's C Relay. Lane 3 is going to be Hazlitt C Relay of Danielle Stifler, Sarah Van Maley, Sarah Colandria, and Chelsea Ridnour. Lane 4 is Ionia's A Relay, so watch out for them to be competing. And lane 5 is going to be Hazlitt's A, which definitely watch out for them. They've got Michelle Lefevre, who earlier won the 500, Cammie Thornton, Ashley Vance, and Jamie McKenzie.
It seems to be a dominant squad.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. They're finely tuned athletic machines. But getting back to the lanes, we have lane 6 is going to be Ionia's B squad. Lane 7 is Hazlitt's B squad of Bailey McMillan, Teresa Vigor, Sarah McNamara, and Holly Umke. And lane 8 is going to be Ionia's D team. Who knows? They might pull something out, something miraculous. But
Maybe they got possessed in the last 5 minutes, and they're just going to come out with ungodly strength and poise, and they're just going to pull through. But you never know.
you know, I've seen crazier things before, Jack. It's possible.
Yeah, like what?
Well, I wasn't going to bring this up, but well, never mind. I'll save it for another time.
Sounds delightful.
And
It's a close-up of our
a
swimmers.
suspenseful silence has come over the crowd here, as you can almost hear a needle drop, folks. Never mind, they're going to wait a minute. Oh. And our announcer is cracking a few jokes here. The pool announcer, that is. He's not quite as funny as Jack and I here, unfortunately, for
It's too bad.
the audience.
Now there are 2 men in white suits overlooking the this race here. One seems to be at an attention, the other one seems to be drifting off into the middle of nowhere. You can see him there on the far side of the screen. Looks to be maybe a little bored. Maybe he wanted a little more drama in this match. I'm sorry, man in white suit. We're just going to dominate. Sorry.
There's Sarah Veit. All smiles after that 100-yard breaststroke first place finish. And all the swimmers getting pumped up now, doing their various cheers, claps, snaps, whatever you want to do to get you pumped up.
You know, their enthusiasm is really spread to me tonight. I might sign up for swimming this year.
Hey, why not? Swimming or diving. I mean,
It's, diving is a strong possibility. I enjoy it. It's a fun thing to do, and it's just inspirational to me what Katie did today with her dominant.
she really put on a show, didn't she?
She might want to get paid for that because it was fantastic.
I'm sure she'll be getting all kinds of scholarships just thrown at her.
Shot.
I'm talking fastball.
Cannonballed.
So it should be interesting to see where she goes to college. As I mentioned earlier, she was at Michigan State diving over the summer, so maybe she's got some ties there.
Some connections.
And before this last event, I'd like to send out some props to Ryan McGrew-Miller, who's on our camera in the back corner. We've got Brad Shear with a overhead camera panning back and forth, and Logan with a little handheld cannon. And here comes the start.
Here comes the boom. We're just getting this in on the wire. The freshman football team we're were defeated in a tough match against DeWitt tonight. Unfortunately, you know, it's a tough team. DeWitt's always a strong team in football, and you know, next they have lots of chances to play them again. So
that's definitely the hardest team to lose to, without a doubt, I'd say, aside from the playoffs. But there's a young kid on that team named Reggie, so I'm sure they'll be pretty good in the future.
you can't deny the name.
Reggie, Reggie. It just begs to be chanted.
We're referring to Reggie Bush,
Yes.
the dominant college figure.
And in lane 5, we've got Michelle Lefevre off to a great start here with the lead off for the A squad.
Looks to be in second place, a close second between Ionia's D squad and Ionia's A squad. So maybe
That possessed comment earlier wasn't too far off.
well, it looks to be as if they're slipping now. But you know, maybe the coaches were trying to mess with our heads, and they put their A squad on their D squad.
Well, with the second leg of the race coming up here, they should get some renewed energy, and we'll see how the second leg does.
Exactly.
As Hazlitt's very own Cami Thornton jumps in the second slot.
And she's still dominating as Ionia's A squad is, I'd say, 2 full lengths behind the A squad. Looks to be as if she's slipping a little, and Hazlitt just pulling through, as you can see there on the screen. Now, in this race, does each person do 4 lengths, and then
Each person does 4 lengths, and it's a full-out sprint the entire time. It's one of the more fun races, I'd have to say, from personal experience.
A dramatic finish.
It's very dramatic. When you see that
Of a
person
fantastic
next to
match.
you, sometimes your eyes meet and you just get that killer instinct. So
You know, I've seen brawls where that instinct has flourished into a full-out battle.
watch out for this transfer here, lane 5. That was outstanding.
As you can see from underwater camera, people are ending their race, but then another person enters, and it's a nice view. It's just fantastic what the vision has here. We're proud.
The future looks bright, definitely, here at the future. Got some up-and-coming students here. Got Jack and I, who, quite frankly, are pretty stellar.
It's out of this world, baby.
So Hazlitt A is still holding it down, and
You know, I'm getting a little antsy sitting here. I maybe want to get up and cheer, but that would not be allowed, I don't think.
it's probably not standard etiquette up here, as most of the Ionia parents have gone pretty silent.
Well, you know, that'll happen when they get dominated like that. Just a little.
And as you see there, that flip turn was not too effective from the Ionia swimmer there. As I said earlier, it's very important to get that down. So if you don't have that, it's gonna be trouble. And it looks like
Hazlitt's A team here. Jamie McKenzie is really finishing hard. She just has a great stroke. Just seems to just be effortless. She's just gliding through the water like she really wants to finish this off hard.
and
I think she's on her final 2 lengths here, and final 2 lengths of this match, this meet tonight.
and look at those pink goggles, folks. Wow.
You know, maybe the pink holds a secret or a treasure that no one knows about, such as you know, I'm not gonna reveal her secrets because I don't think anyone else.
She entrusted them to you, and I don't think it'd be right of you to expose it to the entire nation, who's probably watching this meet with us right now. And an outstanding
Jamie
meet it has
finishes
been.
hard. Hazlitt takes first, as you know, everyone thought that Hazlitt would probably win this race, as they have pretty much with everything this evening. Ionia looks to be Ionia's C and B are finishing neck and neck, and Hazlitt. Oh, excuse me. Hazlitt's B team came in with second place, and Ionia's A squad came in with third. So another 1-2 sweep for Hazlitt. Just this overall race has just been a total landslide.
They really have to be happy with the effort that they came out with today. They wanted to leave it all in the pool, and
you know, I think they did. Congratulations to them. Sorry for Ionia, maybe next time. And there are those close-up of that pink goggles. As you can see, there's some mystifying just glow about them.
The fluorescent, I think, it really catches the eye and maybe even throws off the swimmer next to her. Who knows? Could be a strategic move on her part. Looks like it paid off.
Seems to be everything is strategic.
And
I think that brings an end to our...
No, not so fast. We have one more swimmer in here.
Pardon me. I am sorry, lane 2.
Lane 2, we apologize, Kelsey Edlin. And she's going to finish strong here.
Yeah, she's still chugging along. You know, I would hate to be in this position where...
It's difficult when you're the fourth leg because you're not necessarily the one to blame, but, I mean...
It looks as if you're the problem.
Exactly. If the people in front of you aren't pulling their weight, it's tough.
It's hard to get some motivation when you lose as badly as they did tonight.
And they're still hugging. Apparently,
we believe that the final score this evening was Hazlitt 218 and Ionia 92. So, you know, as you can see from the scoreboard and as what we've been talking about all night, Hazlitt dominated in every event. And just congratulations to this girls' team, who I'm sure will be very happy after this win. And they are Hazlitt and their brand new, amazing swimsuits, picked out by Sarah McNamara. Props, Sarah.
Yeah, way to go, Sarah. It's a really nice option. I like the aqua and blue mix up there.
Now, Hazlitt also has parkas that they wear in between races. Is that accurate?
Yeah, the parkas, they help a lot. They've got the furry inside, some gold, some blue, all the same effect, however. And when you get out of that cold pool, it's hot in here, but they're definitely pretty chilly when they get out of there. So you throw that parka off, and it's got two effects. It dries you off, and it warms you up.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's tough to beat.
And I don't know if they can hear this at home, but Hazlitt's girls are just cheering for their victory, and as they walk off in an orderly team fashion, they seem to be all smiles and just full of satisfaction.
They're going to line up here for the handshakes after the meet, which is a standard tradition. We're always good sports here. Ionia's taken the loss well, it looks like, although they lost by over 100 points.
It's a hard loss to happen. You never want to get blown out, but sometimes it's inevitable.
So, I mean, while they might not have had group success tonight, I'm sure a few Ionia swimmers might have gotten some personal records, so it's not a complete loss for them. But on the other side of that, Hazlitt certainly has a great win to build on, and hopefully they can carry that momentum into their next meet and throughout the rest of the season. They certainly look like they have a good diving squad and swimming squad, so
they should hold their own this season.
Without a doubt. It's a pretty tough league, but they've got some superstars on this team.
All right, folks. Thank you for watching this evening's match or meet against Ionia, and thanks for stopping by.